Thank you for that fantastic opening address, as always, Mr. Vice Chancellor. We've come to a very important part of the event that I'm sure we've all been waiting for. But before I proceed, I would like to quickly recognize the presence of Hafiz Mohammed, the Assistant Corps Marshal and representative of the Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps. Thank you, you're welcome. We finally arrived at the keynote address, which is going to be delivered by none other than the very accomplished former Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami. Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim, PhD, FCIIS, FBCS, FNCS, was born in Pantami, Gombe State, Nigeria. He was the Minister of Communications and the first ever Minister of Digital Economy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from August 21st, 2019 to May 29th, 2023. Professor Ibrahim obtained a 5-year Bachelor of Technology degree in Computer Science from the Federal University of Technology, known as the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, Nigeria, and proceeded to acquire 2 master's degrees from the same institution in quick succession, one in computer science and the other an MBA in technology management. His scholarly pursuits then led him to the Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen, Scotland, United Kingdom, where he obtained a doctoral degree in computer information systems. Prior to that, he also obtained a 1-year postgraduate certificate in research methods from the same university. Professor Ibrahim lectured at ATB University for over a decade and signed an appointment with the International University of Medina in 2014 as senior lecturer. He also led NITDA, which is also a research agency, as the Director General cum CEO for 3 years. During this time, he also served as a resource person to National Open University of Nigeria, among others. Professor Ibrahim teaches cybersecurity and information security and also supervises postgraduate research students and partakes in community service as the first professor of cybersecurity in the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Imo State. He took the appointment since March 2021 and is also the first professor of cybersecurity from Northern Nigeria. He has the distinction of being the first and only African so far to be certified as the fellow of the Chartered Institute of Information Security among 89 other fellows. CIISEC is the only professional cybersecurity organization granted the Royal Charter of Incorporation in the United Kingdom. He was also appointed by the United Nations through International Telecommunication Union as the chairman of the World Summit on the Information Society 2022, and his tenure marked the outstanding transformation of the WSIS program, as attested to by the Secretary General and other top-ranking officials of the United Nations. I'm just starting. Get ready to clap a lot. As the chairman, he chaired over 193 global digital economy ministers. Prior to his appointment as minister in 2019, he was the Chief Information Technology Officer of Nigeria and Director General cum Chief Executive Officer of the National Information Technology Development Agency, which has a strong mandate on research, regulation, and development of information technology. Professor Ibrahim is also the Chief Digital Officer of the Federation. Under the leadership of Professor Ibrahim, as the first ever Minister of Digital Economy in Nigeria, the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy 2020 to 2030 and the National Broadband Plan 2020 to 2025 were developed, among others, and many unprecedented successes recorded. His performance as a minister, as assessed by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, United Kingdom, and KPMG, among others, in partnership with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, in the presidency during the retreat held on the 17th and 18th of October 2022, was excellent. This assessment, which was based on the output indicators and milestones for the 8 ministerial deliverables, scored him the highest among all ministers with a distinction in all the deliverables. The exceptional scores for the deliverables include the implementation of broadband connectivity with a score of 134%. Deployment of 4G across the country scored 127%. Digitalizing government functions and processes scored 99%. Development and implementation of a national digital economy policy and strategy scored 103%. Implementation of a digital identity program with a score of 86%. Improvement and optimization of revenues from all operators and licenses in the agency under the ministry's supervision recorded a 594% score. That is like upper first class in the university. Active collaboration with the private sector to create jobs scored 111%, and empowerment of citizens scored 137%. Under his stewardship, broadband penetration increased by more than 10% in a year, rather than the average annual increase of about 1.7%. And the information and communications technology sector contributed an unprecedented 14.07% to the GDP, based on the first quarter of 2020 GDP report by the National Bureau of Statistics. The ICT sector was also the fastest growing sector of the Nigerian economy, with 17.92% contribution to GDP, based on the second quarter 2021 GDP report. He further broke that record as the ICT sector contributed yet an unprecedented 18.44% to the GDP in Q2 2022 again. He developed the national policy that led to the deployment of 5G in Nigeria. Professor Ibrahim initiated the first virtual Federal Executive Council and first virtual National Security Council meeting on the 13th of May 2020, and has been coordinating and supervising the technical aspects of the meetings since then. He had 108 virtual meetings, which were all very successful. This saved the Nigerian government money worth billions of naira monthly. Professor Ibrahim also holds certificates in digital transformation from Harvard University, digital strategy from both the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Institute of Management Development, Lausanne, Switzerland, strategic leadership from Oxford University, bespoke session on lawmaking at the Sussex Law School, University of Sussex, and the University of Cambridge certification in management. The dynamic, inspirational agent of transformation is also a conflict resolution expert with national and international experiences in that regard. Professor Ibrahim received honorary doctoral degrees from a public university in Sudan and Achievers University, Owo, Ondo State. He was also conferred with the Distinguished Fellowship Award by the Federal College of Education, Gombe, and Federal Polytechnic, Kazaure. In addition, Professor Ibrahim is a recipient of several global awards and is a well-sought-after speaker, delivering convocation lectures in several public and private universities. In addition to this, as stated earlier, Professor Ibrahim developed 23 national policies that are currently being implemented to promote cybersecurity, among others. Among other policies, the revised National NIN SIM registration policy, National Policy for Unmasking SIMs and Enforcement, blocking of over 2.4 million unregistered SIM cards in 2019, enforcement of internet exchange points, and enrollment of 100 million citizens as of October 2022 on the National Identity Database, and issuance of national identity numbers were key achievements in promoting cybersecurity. Indeed, it is under his stewardship that an unprecedented number of policies and regulatory instruments were developed for the communications and digital economy sector of Nigeria. He oversaw the successful implementation of over 4,366 projects of the parastatals under his supervision. Furthermore, Professor Ibrahim was a champion of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology Regional Entrepreneurship Acceleration Program, Abuja, from 2019 to 2021. He has published several academic articles in professional journals, presented papers in more than 190 conferences, and published several books. These books include Skills Rather Than Just Degrees, Datafication of Society to Foster an Internet Economy, Building a Digital Economy for Digital Africa, Selected Speeches on Developing the Nigerian ICT Sector, Volumes 1 to 3. Cybersecurity Initiatives for Securing a Country. Cybersecurity Guide. Simple Awareness, Mitigation and Regulation. Counterterrorism through Cybersecurity and Emerging Technologies. And Digital Agriculture, the Panacea for Global Food Crisis, among others. Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim, who is popularly known as the Digital Minister, is a global IT citizen, a chartered computer scientist, and a chartered cybersecurity expert. He is also a revered and highly respected fellow of the Chartered Institute of Information Security, FCIIS, Nigeria Computer Security, FNCS, and the British Computer Society, FBCS, as well as a fellow of Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Forensics Specialist Group of the British Computer Society. He is also a registered computer scientist with the Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, MCPN, among others. Professor Ibrahim is happily married with children. I have finished. With a big round of applause, please make welcome on stage the Honorable Minister to deliver the keynote address.
The Vice Chancellor of Nile University, my dear brother, Professor Dili Dogo, the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Nigeria on Entrepreneurship in the Digital Economy, my sister Jennifer, the Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of Central Administration, other CEOs here present, the representatives of military and paramilitary here present, academics here present, other stakeholders here present, ladies and gentlemen of the press, good afternoon to all of you, and may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. Permit me to begin by appreciating the Nile University and other stakeholders for organizing this very important conference. And also for extending their invitation to me to serve as the keynote speaker of the event. I have been attending relevant activities on this campus for 5 to 6 years. And I can also recall that on the 25th October 2019, I was in this theater where I serve as the convocation lecturer or graduation lecturer for the graduates. It was on 25th October 2019, and since then I attended some relevant events, and particularly when my brother Professor Dili Dogo was appointed as the Vice Chancellor, I said to myself that I will not turn down any invitation from him because his success is my success. And it becomes necessary for us to give him all the necessary support he needs in order to be successful. I am very proud of what he has achieved so far. Even today I read that 10 new programs were accredited by the National Universities Commission in this university. And also during my discussion with him before this event, he gave me the glad tidings that all the courses of the university, all the courses being offered in Nile University are fully accredited. This is highly commendable, and we are very proud of him. And we pray to the Almighty to continue to take the university to greater heights. The theme of this conference is navigating the new normal, building a digital-ready Nigeria. Challenges, opportunities, and the strategies for the future. However, I'm more interested in opportunities before the challenges, because we need to discuss the opportunities before we discuss the challenges. So with the permission of the VC, I will recoin the topic to be opportunities, challenges, and the strategies for the future. As the BC earlier mentioned in his opening speech, that we are now in the fourth industrial revolution. And this is the opinion of Professor Klaus Schwab, the pioneer chairman and founder of the World Economic Forum, that the first industrial revolution took place in the 18th century in Liverpool and Manchester in the United Kingdom with the invention of steam power or steam energy, while the second industrial revolution took place in the United Kingdom, Belgium, Germany, France, and relatively towards the end, the US, with the invention of electricity, mass production, radio, television, and others. This is in the 19th century. While the third industrial revolution took place in the 20th century in the UK or in Europe, America, then Japan and Australia, with the invention of computer, internet, World Wide Webs, what brought about the globalization. And the fourth industrial revolution, which commenced in the 21st century, in which is the only industrial revolution that Africa is not far away from the developed countries. This is the only industrial revolution that Africa is being recognized globally because of the quality of startups that are coming out from Africa as a continent. The theme of the conference is interwoven with the fourth industrial revolution, because the fourth industrial revolution is largely about the invention of another world. Prior to this moment, we had only physical world and biological world. Now another world has been invented, that is the digital world or the virtual world, with the advancement in artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, augmented reality, virtual reality, nanotechnology, biotechnology, among others. These technologies brought about the virtual world. So now we have physical world, biological world, and the virtual world. The fusion of physical, biological, and the digital world is what brought about the fourth industrial revolution. So virtual world is the digital world. Virtual Nigeria is the digital Nigeria. Before speaking on the topic on a larger scale, permit me to explain few terms superficially. Firstly, navigating the new normal. What is the new normal? This phrase, new normal, was recoined in 2008 with the financial or global financial crisis, the extreme stress that affected the capital market, financial institutions, banks, and others from the middle of 2007 to the early part of 2009. After overcoming the challenge, the term was reintroduced to the world, a new normal, trying to adjust the situation. However, according to some literatures, the word was first mentioned in 1966, that is 58 years ago. It was coined by Mr. Robert A. Henlin. He used the term new normal. So it was earlier used 58 years, but it was reintroduced during the global financial crisis when the world was trying to adjust to the reality. And the term was also reintroduced for the second time during the COVID-19 pandemic. That is the new normal. So new normal is about trying to understand the reality and adjust. So that is what the new normal is all about. You overcome a challenge or you overcome a situation and you want to adopt. So now, with the invention of artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, among others, we have a new world in place, what we call the virtual world or the digital world. And there is need for us to sit down properly and adjust the way and manner we acclimatize the physical world and the biological world. We need to acclimatize the digital world. So this is what the new normal is all about in summary. And in this context, we need to adjust because people of my age and those that are older than us, we witnessed the manual world, then the analog world, and now we are into digital world. So we need to adjust. While our children are the digital natives. Why? Because they only witnessed the virtual world. They only read about the analog world and the manual world in literatures. So they don't need to adjust. But in our own case, we need to adjust from the analog world to the digital world, or rather the virtual world. And there is no doubt about this. Our children are digital natives. You will discover no matter how expert you are in digital, when your children pick up your phone and start manipulating, you will just be amazed. It's mind-boggling. The way they are navigating one application to another, you'll just be surprised. Why? Because it is their own world. While in our own case, we have to adopt the new world. Furthermore, when we use the word digital ready, superficially we can explain digital as an electronic technology that generates, stores, and processes positive and non-positive, or rather, we can say it's an electronic technology that generates, stores, and processes data in terms of positive and non-positive states. The positive state is 1, the non-positive is 0. The binary numbers we have, because any digital content emerges from ones and zeros. So these are the positive and the non-positive. So any electronic technology that can generate, store, and also process data in terms of ones and zeros, that technology falls under the category of digital. Are you following? So when we say digital Nigeria or digital ready Nigeria, is a situation where our country is generally digitalized. Not digitized, but generally digitalized. If you look at it, digital as an adjective, we also have digital economy, digital Nigeria, digital classroom, digital state, and another word that is synonymous to digital is smart. You can say smart Nigeria. or Smart Ready Nigeria. Are you following? Or Virtual Ready Nigeria, or Digital Ready Nigeria. The words are synonymous. And you can discover that you can interchange them while speaking or making any presentation or writing. Nigeria as a country, if we are to x-ray our opportunities, challenges, and the strategies for the future, we can safely say we have a lot of opportunities. Nigeria as a country formally and officially commenced the digital journey on the 17th October 2019, when the first mandate of Digital Nigeria was approved by the Federal Executive Council. Furthermore, the country kick-started the implementation of that mandate on the 24th October 2019. After kick-starting that one, a day after, we were in this theater for the convocation lecture on 25th October 2019, a day after. In addition, the first ever digital economy policy and strategy was unveiled by the federal government of Nigeria around November 19, 2019. With so many initiatives in order to achieve digital ready Nigeria. And in that national digital economy policy and strategy for a digital Nigeria 2020-2030, the term or the phrase digital Nigeria first emerged officially. In that document, digital Nigeria was clearly mentioned that the target to achieve lately is by 2030, meaning in the next 6 years, the country plans to ensure that we achieve a digital Nigeria. Furthermore, there are so many opportunities we have to achieve the digital Nigeria. Firstly, as at May 2023, we had a minimum of 23 national policies, all of them approved by the Federal Executive Council towards achieving a digital Nigeria. We also have a minimum of 2 new laws to attain that. The first one, which to me is the most important legislation over the last decade in this country, to me, arguably it could be the most important, particularly towards achieving a digital Nigeria, that is Nigeria Startup Act 2022. This Nigeria Startup Act, it is the actual piece of legislation that provides many opportunities for our younger ones to leverage on and become digital innovators and digital entrepreneurs. There is going to be a council that will be listening to the challenges of our young innovators, and that council is being chaired by the President of Nigeria. This is to show to you how important that council is. Furthermore, there are so many provisions over seed funding, loan, patent, and many more in that law. In addition, one of the major challenges being confronted by attaining a digital world is the issue of privacy and confidentiality. Most of the developed countries attaining digitalization were confronted with these challenges, the issue of privacy and digitalization. It is because of this that the federal government of Nigeria established Nigeria Data Protection Regulation in 2021, and also in 2023, we have the first ever Nigeria Data Protection Act in place in order to ensure the privacy and confidentiality of all our activities online. These are some of the policies and laws we have in place, and they are part and parcel of the opportunities. In addition, the nature of our population, which has been dominated by youth, is another opportunity. As I earlier explained briefly, that we switched from manual to analog to digital. Our children are digital natives. Today, Nigeria is among the top 5 countries globally with the youngest population. Our average age in Nigeria is approximately 18 years old. That is the average age. So by implication, this is one of our greatest opportunities to leverage on. Why? Because our youth in the 4th Industrial Revolution are highly talented. I always argue there is no shortage of talent in Nigeria. There is no shortage. The major challenges usually is lack of mentorship, lack of the enabling environment to succeed, and sometimes maybe funding, but not the issue of talent. In any industry you look at, you will discover that we are among the best globally. So the nature of our population is another advantage, that we have a very young population. We don't have the problem of aging. If you go to Europe and other Asian countries, you will discover the average age, some of them is 55 years old, while Nigeria is 18. So this is an opportunity that we must leverage on. Number 4, among our opportunities, there are so many avenues, so many platforms today provided by Nigerian institutions or government where you can build your skills. In 2020, Digital Nigeria platform was introduced, where more than 500,000 Nigerians acquired certification through that. In addition to partnership with Microsoft in 2022, with the agreement of providing digital skills, particularly the 4th industrial skills, to 5 million Nigerians. And of recent also, the federal government of Nigeria introduced 3MTT, that is 3 million technical talent. So these are some of the opportunities for our young population to leverage on in order to become very successful in the 4th industrial revolution and also towards attaining the digital-ready Nigeria. All these things are opportunities we have in order to leverage on. Furthermore, with regards to the challenges, definitely there are challenges. Number 1 major challenge towards attaining the digital-ready Nigeria is the issue of insecurity, is number 1. We still have substantial part of our country without broadband, without fiber optics. And our companies always complain about the vandalization of their infrastructure, sometimes by criminals, sometimes even during road construction. We don't respect fiber optics. And fiber optic is supposed to be part and parcel of our critical infrastructure. So vandalization is one of the major problems, and the issue of insecurity, where criminals can always destroy and they can always steal from any infrastructure available. Challenge number 2, lack of funding is another issue. Digitalization cannot be achieved without funding. Anything digital is expensive. Let me give you an example. According to the United Nations Trade and Development, they say if you want to produce a 2-kilogram computer, only 2 kg computer, you know it's not a big computer, just laptop or iPad, only 2 kg, you need 800 kilograms of raw materials from start to finish to manufacture 2 kg computer. A smartphone like this only smartphone, according to the UNDP, to produce this smartphone, you need a minimum of 70 kilograms of raw materials to manufacture this, 70 kg. So this shows to us that digitalization is cost intensive. There is no doubt about this. And this is globally. Unfortunately, in Africa, if you look at our budgetary provision, whether for academia, government institutions, anywhere, you will discover that mostly there is no priority and preference towards achieving digitalization. In the area of artificial intelligence only, AI, recently the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia budgeted 40 billion USD in order to support the development of artificial intelligence. This is only one element of the fourth industrial revolution. 40 billion USD only for artificial intelligence. Why? Because there is need for funding. Number 3 challenge is lack of constant interaction in Nigeria between government, academia, and industry. Digitalization cannot be attained by only one institution. All stakeholders must come together. There must be a constant interaction between government, academia, and industry. In academia is for R&D, research and development, and also to nurture our young innovators. Government to provide funding and enabling environment, while industry is where skills are available. If you are looking for skills, go to industries. You will discover they have abundant skills. Through constant interaction between government, academia, and industry, that can easily be attained. Today, we are in an era where some of our academics feel like government is their enemy. Government feels that academics are only noisemakers. Industry is always shutting down its doors. Why? Because we don't want them to disturb us. And they are angry with government. Why? There is no enabling environment. They are also complaining about academia. Why? The graduates are not having sufficient skills to contribute. So blame game is not a solution. Each and every one has its own strength and weakness. The strength of academia, R&D is one of them among many. And I have been saying the difficulty of learning in Nigeria, if you acquire a degree in Nigeria, because of the difficulty, the artificial difficulty in our public universities, let me exclude the private. In our public universities, as long as you attend a public university in Nigeria and graduate, with little effort, you can go anywhere in the world and study and further your studies because of the artificial difficulties you have gone through. So there are many strengths of our academia and there are weaknesses. There are strengths of government. No matter how angry you are with government, you cannot pay yourself your salary. Government pays you. The law that establishes the university is from government. The autonomy of the university is from government. While government itself must agree that industry is important. Today in Nigeria, if you look at our gross domestic product, industry, the private sector is number 1. Let me be frank with you. If you look at our national aggregate demand, government controls less than 10%. The private sector controls more than 90%. So the money and the resources are in the private sector. What they need from government is the enabling environment. where their investment is going to be protected. Government should come up with policies that will make them very successful. So in real sense, government needs academia and industry. Industry needs government and academia. Academia needs government and industry. That is why constant interaction is key. No one can achieve digital-ready Nigeria in isolation. It's not possible. I have my strength and weakness. You have your strength and your weakness. Your strength will complement my weakness, and my strength will complement your weakness. And that is how life is, and we must agree and accept it. This is one of the challenges, lack of constant interaction between government, academia, and industry. We must befriend. We must work together, not to feel like this group is my enemy or I'm an enemy to that group. That cannot provide any meaningful solution to our problems in Nigeria, particularly towards attaining the digital-ready Nigeria. Furthermore, among the challenges also is the issue of the nature of our civil service or public service. Civil servants, because of the nature of our country, I don't want to comment more. I know how problematic they are. I work with civil servants for years. Most of them are very conservative. They are not interested in anything digital. They are more interested in manual. Some because of their age, some because of their background, and unfortunately, some because of corrupt practices. Because if you automate and digitalize any system, it will increase accountability and transparency. And they are not interested in anything transparent and accountable. They are not interested. Okay, you are here. So apologies, please. They are not interested. Any idea of digitalization that comes up, you will discover that there is a very strong resistance from our civil servants, even though it's indirectly. They will not do it directly. They will come up with 1,001 excuses why this cannot be implemented at the moment. And to be fair, in our hierarchy, they are the most powerful. They can make CEO ineffective. They can make minister ineffective. And they can make permanent secretary, who is one of them, ineffective. That is the reality. And they are the engine of C. I don't want to complete it. I will not complete it. And that is the reality. So the issue of that being conservative and also lack of accountability and also even challenging accountability is a problem to achieving the digital-ready Nigeria. You cannot attain as long as your institutions are not digitalized. And these institutions to be digitalized, your soldiers there, your engine room there is not interested in digitalization. Then how can you attain that? To address this challenge, we need to reorient our civil servants. We need to reorient them. And we need this societal reorientation is key. We cannot continue in the same manner we have been doing it for years. There is need for us to engage civil servants on a daily basis and convince them that we need to change our perception about digital-ready Nigeria. In summary, because of time constraint, these are some of the challenges. While strategy for the future, firstly, before I speak on that, there are two prerequisites to achieving digitalization or attaining digital-ready country or digital-ready Nigeria or digital economy. There are two, particularly with regards to digital economy. Number one, is digital innovation. And number 2 is digital entrepreneurship. Digital innovation is 50% of digital economy, while digital entrepreneurship is also 50% of digital economy. When you have digital innovation on one hand and digital entrepreneurship on the other, both of them together will give you the digital economy. So firstly, that is why I argue. My sister is here, the SSA. Technically, when you say digital economy, you don't need to mention innovation or entrepreneurship. Why? Because entrepreneurship and innovation, both of them will give you the digital economy. When I say digital economy and innovation, it's just like I'm saying finance and money. It is the same because both of them will give you. You either say digital economy or you say innovation and entrepreneurship. So innovation and entrepreneurship will give you digital economy. Digital economy will give you innovation and entrepreneurship. They are synonymous as well. So these two prerequisites to attaining digitalization are very important. Digital innovation, number 1, and digital entrepreneurship, number 2. And this concept has significantly been implemented by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US, where I served as the champion for 2 years. They have been very successful in innovation and entrepreneurship, developing solutions. They become problem solvers through innovation and entrepreneurship. A research which has been entitled as MIT Nation around 2015-2016 argued that at that time, if MIT were to be a country, it will be among the 10 largest economy globally. Because at that time, MIT, the GDP of the serial entrepreneurs of MIT was more than the entire GDP of India as a country with a population of 1.4 billion people at that time. But today, India happens to be the 5th largest economy. US is number 1 with 25.5 trillion USD according to IMF, followed by China, 19.9 trillion as at December 2022. Then Japan, before it was Germany, but now Japan with around 3.9 trillion, 4.9 trillion, then Germany 4.5 trillion. It was UK number 5 before, now is India ahead of the UK. So India is among the countries that have been very successful in innovation and entrepreneurship, particularly through their Indian Institute of Technology. Their IIT is among the leading institutions today in the area of innovation and entrepreneurship. And they are the largest exporter of digital skills globally today. So digital innovation and entrepreneurship can easily be attained through the implementation of Nigeria Startup Act. And furthermore, through that constant interaction between government, academia, and industry, in the 4th Industrial Revolution, the focus is no more about producing potential employees, but rather producing potential employers. The same with MIT in America and IIT in India. IIT in India, each graduate of IIT is a potential employer of 100 people globally. Averagely, each graduate of MIT averagely is an employer of 100 people globally. So the 4th Industrial Revolution is not just about to graduate, update your CV, start roaming about looking for employment. There is no harm in seeking for employment, but life is nothing but a division of labor. Some of them can work in government, some in private sector, some in diaspora, and some are entrepreneurs. And to me, the entrepreneurs are number 1 before you speak about employees in government or in the private sector. because employers are actually, they are leading among the problem solvers. While employees largely, they are not problem solvers. Usually, they are consumers. But employers, entrepreneurs are among the leading problem solvers in any country. So digital innovation or digital ready Nigeria, through the strategy, we can attain that by prioritizing producing potential employers rather than potential employees, job providers rather than job seekers, producing substantial number of digital innovators and entrepreneurs. And I strongly believe that if Nigeria Startup Act 2022 is implemented, that can easily be attained. Furthermore, there are 4 ingredients also to attaining digital economy and by extension, the digital ready Nigeria. As long as our population are provided with these 4 ingredients, then attaining that can be much, much easier. Number 1 is broadband. Broadband penetration is key. In December 2023, broadband penetration within our population, not landmass, was approximately 47%. Unfortunately, the most recent report I read, it dropped to 43%, reduction of 4%. We need to redouble our effort and increase our broadband penetration. This is number 1. Number 2, bank account. Bank account, to make sure that each and every citizen has a bank account, particularly within the age bracket of 18 to 65, is very important. According to the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, as at October 2022, we had around 151 million bank accounts in Nigeria. This is really encouraging. However, they are not unique bank accounts. You will discover some citizens have multiple bank accounts, some 2, some 3, some 4. In any situation, it is really encouraging. Number 3 among the ingredients is smartphones. Not only ordinary phones, but smartphones that can get connected to the internet. You can open your email, you can download applications, and at least make them active is number 3 ingredient. That is why among the strategies of achieving a digital ready country is to make smartphones affordable to the citizens. According to the affordable of smartphones, approximately in Nigeria, the penetration of smartphone is around 44.4%. So by implication, you can say we have around 90 million smartphones, which is also very important as is key. Then number 4, national identity, in order to identify citizens and ensure cyber security and to ensure the safety of our country. Each and every citizen online, his identity should be known, particularly when there is need for identifying that identity. As at May 2023, I know our database at the National Identity Management Commission was 101 million people, 101 million. So I believe the number is increasing by now. So these are the 4 ingredients of attaining a digital ready country. And most importantly, human skills. Human skills, number 1, digital skills, number 2, social skills, and number 3, soft skills. The digital skills, our citizens should be digital literate so that they will be able to go online and do any activity that is required. So this is in summary what we need to do to attain the digital Nigeria. As part of our strategy, I insist on government, academia, and industry relationship. And secondly, we must prioritize human development over and above any form of development. As a country, our citizens are our number one priority. Building, infrastructure, road, whatever you think of, are very important. However, human beings are more important than all of them. It is because of this that if we implement this, I strongly believe that attaining the digital-ready Nigeria is going to be very easy and also very successful. Once again, thank you very much for listening.